Hi, it's Sarah Jane here from Natural Heating, and today I'm going to do a short video highlighting some user error issues that we've had with the Hwam stoves. This has been just happening recently, mainly because people don't understand the change in technology and that some stoves are just different to others and we don't run them the way that we used to. So we can stop all these problems happening when you know how something works. It really does help when you know the fine details. So the issues that we've been having is overfiring, which means that they're burning too hot and they won't slow down, and fogging up of the glass. And it's dead simple, honestly. I mean, Hwam stoves practically run themselves. Once you've adjusted the air control, they are semi-automatic and do most of it for you. But there's one simple thing that we've found that can go wrong that really messes all that up. So what we've had happen recently is there's a customer of mine that lives just up the road and they've got two Hwam 4640Cs. One was burning beautifully, the other one was burning out of control. And before I just got in my car to go and have a look at it, I phoned Fred. Fred is the technical guy for Hwam. And said, hey Fred, anything you can highlight on this? I think it's probably ashpan sales. But is there any information you can tell me about these just before I go look see, just so that I know something else to look at? And he goes, we've had this a couple of times in the last week. And it's ash issues with ash down the back of the pan. Just have a look at that and I'll maybe see if you're sending anybody out. So I actually got Fred to put it in an email, copied the email, sent it to the customer. They let the fire go out, they gave it a hoover and it solved the problem miraculously. So it was the seal, the ash pan, like I thought it was, but I didn't actually think about the ash down the back, and it was Fred that highlighted the fact that people just don't always clean things out. And it used to be you didn't clean stoves out, whereas now, most of the time, we do, because the air injection systems are just totally different than what they used to be. We don't have to bank up and burn in a big, thick bed of ash anymore. Generally, they're all insulated bases or designed to have the right amount of air in the right place, and they burn with so little ash compared to what they used to. It's just easier to take it all out and keep it clean. So since then, funnily enough, I've had another 4 cases. 4 with exactly the same problem in the course of about a week. So I figured it's time we made another video. So let's see what happens. So most Hwam stoves like this one are relatively the same. What you have is you have a small grate here, and then below we have an ash drawer. Now, this is the 4620 model. And let's just pick another random one. Let's have a 3740C. Again, we have a grate in the middle with an ash drawer below. Okay, so what's been happening here with these ash pans is, here's the drawer, and the drawer just pulls out underneath. Now, typically in older stoves, what people used to do when you're burning wood is keep a good bed of ash on the grate or in the pan. We don't want you to do that in these modern stoves because you end up causing problems. Every time you've done a day or so of burning, make sure that you're emptying this pan. We do not want it to overflow, because if you can look in the inside, what can happen is if the grate overflows and too much ash comes through here, what actually stops happening is this pan doesn't locate properly. And if this pan isn't located properly, that seal isn't making air contact with the front of the fire. Now, if that is a fraction open from too much ash being stuck down the back, it's going to suck air uncontrollably. And that is just down to the fact that you haven't cleaned it out properly. If you weren't letting it overflow, that wouldn't happen. So the solution is quite literally hoover it out and you're ready to go. Now I'm going to put in a couple of photographs of showing a 4620C burning perfectly and another one with the fogged up glass. And this actually happened to a customer recently who has 2 stoves in the one property. And one of them just had ash down the back of the pan, no more than that. I'm actually now going to force the issue, and in the same, well, just a taller version of the same model, I'm going to make it do what's happening. So we're going to have a look at mine now. So what we've got is we've got my 4660 stove, which is the same thing but full of heat storage stones on the inside. And again, it's got the same ash jar. Now, you see at the moment my fire is burning beautifully in the inside. What we'll actually do is put a couple of little pieces of wood in, just to give it a bit more flame when that catches, so you can see what it's doing. Now that stove is burning in complete control, beautifully, just at the right speed for what I wanted to burn at the moment. But what I'm going to do is crack this ash jar open at the back, and instantly you'll see the increase in flame. Now, no matter what I do, I now cannot turn that air control down because it's sucking in a tiny amount of air through the back of that ash pan. Now when I shut it, it comes back to where it should be, but just crack it the tiniest bit open to let a sniff of air through under that ash pan, which is what happens when you get too much ash down the back. And that fire is going to burn uncontrollably hot. Now, within several minutes, what you're going to see is the glass is starting to fog from the bottom upwards and getting all cloudy because the air wash isn't functioning properly and it's getting far too hot. And if you repeatedly don't sort this problem out and slow it down, you can do real issues, real problems to the biometallic strip, which will affect the long-term functioning of this stove without needing replacement parts. So you can cause damage, as well as excessive fuel consumption, and you know, you're uncomfortable and it's not doing what you wanted to do. So I'm starting to see it starting to cloud. It will take a bit of time, but the whole glass will cloud and you can hear it ticking and ticking more because it's expanding too fast. Right, so I'm stood in front of this Hwam so you can actually see the difference, and that bottom air is just cracked a millimetre or so open, and it's really starting to now mess up my glass on the inside. So let's take a wee quick look at it the other way around and see if I can show you. It's starting to fog and all that air is coming from the bottom up. So the fire is burning extremely fiercely from the bottom up. It doesn't matter how much you turn that air control, it won't adjust because it's sucking air in under that pan. And usually why we're finding that's happening is there's just a smidgen hairline amount of ash down the back of that ash pan. So if your stove's burning out of control, I'm burning alive here. If your stove is burning out of control and you can't sort it and you're wondering what it's doing, it's usually just the air seals on these. Often, if the seal isn't falling off on the ash pan, it's usually because you haven't cleaned it out properly at the back or the ash pan's overflowed. So let it cool down, get the ash pan out, get a hoover nozzle in there and give it a damn good clean out. It's also worth taking the grate out the middle and get the hoover in there just to make sure there's not any trap bits. You can see what it's doing. It is fogging up the glass from the front and it's starting to go all tainty, and that's just because my ash pan is slightly ajar. Now I've shut it, it's going to steady and it'll take a minute or two to readjust till the biometallic strip cools and shuts the air control system back down, because this does pretty much all the air control system for yourself, for it itself. And but you'll see my glass is really kind of mucky getting in the middle, and I haven't even been doing this for very long. So if you've had a few days of uncontrolled stove or it overfiring, you're going to have a messy glass, whereas mine's only had a few minutes. Anyway, most often the problems that we get are very, very simple, and also often user related issues because of just simple misunderstanding. So hopefully some of these little tutorial videos just help you get to the bottom of the problems quicker. We're always happy to try and help, especially with existing or local customers. Our existing customer base, if you've ever bought a stove from us and you need help at any point in time, just give us a call. We'll either come and see you or give you a hand in the shop or try and work through what's going on. For those of you that's further afield or that aren't our customers, I'm afraid I can't solve all your problems. We will sort of try and help, but you really should be going back to your local dealer who can try and assist you the best way that they can. Because obviously you're not all local to me. But if you're here in Norfolk, in East Anglia, everybody's welcome to come and pay a visit. We'll do what we can because we like seeing you.